Um, Yesterday, I think we learned about what part two of speaking is. And like I said, you get 1 minute time before you start speaking to prepare. Now, you can prepare mentally as well, but since they give you a pencil and a paper to write notes if you want to, why don't you use it? And there is a technique if you learn it, how to write notes, maybe it is easier to speak with the help of the notes. In the actual test, once you finish writing the notes and when they say start, you can just look at the notes and talk about those points. Now, when I say writing notes, it is not possible to write the complete script. You cannot write the full answer. You can just write some points. And if you get stuck while speaking, if you forget what to say, you can just look back and you can talk about those points. um, do you remember I said that when the topic is given on the paper, below the topic there are 4 or 5 questions, usually 4 questions. And how to write notes about these 4 questions is what we will learn today. And today we will focus on question which ask us about people. For an example, I would like you to go to IELTS 13, page number 31. Look at that. IELTS 13, page 31. So you can see it says in part 2, describe someone you know who has started a business. Now you must know someone in your life who has a business. And below that, do you see it says you should say who this person is, what work this person does, why this person decided to start a business, and explain whether you would like to do the same kind of work as this person. The questions are there. Since there are 4 questions, in the actual test, I would recommend you make 4 columns so that when we write notes, we write about these 4 questions separately. We don't mix them together. Now, you don't have to physically draw lines to make columns. You can just start in 4 different places. But my advice is don't mix these things up. What happens? There's a risk for some people that when they start speaking, you will run out of things to say very quickly. For an example, today I'm going to tell you about my sister. She has a business. The business is very nice. You will run out of things to say unless you think of the 4 questions separately. And this way of thinking about each question individually, is a skill that will be helpful for other things in your life as well. Do you know when you apply for visa to Australia or to USA, they take an interview. In Australia, they interview you by the phone. For USA, you have to face a face-to-face interview. In those interviews, questions like these are asked. Let's assume you want to apply for a course. Let's say the course is BIT, Bachelor's in IT, and you are applying to, let's say, University of Sydney, in the city of Sydney, in Australia. And then in the interview, they will ask you a question. Why do you want to study BIT? In that question, don't say the college is nice. Just talk about BIT, like about the course. If they ask you, why do you want to go to the University of Sydney? Don't say Sydney is a nice city. Just talk about the university. If they ask you, why Sydney? Don't say Australia is a nice country. Just talk about Sydney. Because each question, if you focus only on the core of the question, it will be better way of speaking. So since there are 4 questions, so let's do it together. When it says describe someone you know who has started a business, someone you know means someone you know personally, not someone that you have learned in the book or learned from the media. So think about it. Someone whom you know personally. It could be a family member, a relative, a friend, a neighbor, somebody like that who has started a business. So I'm writing the name first. I want all of us to do it together. Let's write the name of the person. Here I'm writing the name, Bimes Paudel. Let's all do it in the same way. I want you to start. Write the name of the person who has started a business. Think. After the name, let's write what age they are. Now, if you don't know the exact age, roughly, how old do you think they are? I'm writing here 29. You can write whatever. If you don't know the exact age, you can write around 30, something like that. Then, who is the person to you? It says someone you know. How do you know this person? So I'm writing here friend. You can write uncle or sister or father, whoever you know has a business, neighbor. Okay. Again, the first question is who is this person? Let's keep on talking about who the person is. Where do they live? I'm writing here BRT, short for Biratnagar, wherever they live, the person lives. Okay, next then. Let's also write about marital status, married, unmarried. I'm writing here married. Now we can write more about the person. We can write about their family. We can write other things like what do they look like? Short, tall, dark skin, fair skin, long hair, short hair. We can write about personality, charming, pleasant, whatever you can think of. If you can think of those things, I'm just writing education level. I'm writing graduate, or you can write other things as well. Okay. Now think it is not possible to write everything. So just a couple of things to start with this. Now the next question in the set is what work this person does. Let's write the business name. I'm writing here learner's point, the business name. If it is a restaurant, write the restaurant name. If it is a shop, write the shop name, whatever the name of that business is. Now, once you write the business name, what type of business is this? Is it a restaurant? Is it a bank? Is it a shop? Is it a clothes store? I'm writing here Abroad Education AEC, short for Abroad Education Consultancy. So, what is the business? Now, next, where is the business? I'm writing short MC for Mahindra Chowk, BRT, where the business is. Then, if you know when did they start the business, if you don't know the exact year, you can write roughly 2 years ago, or 5 years ago, or many years ago if you don't remember the date. But I know it was last year, so 2023. Because this next question is about business. The first question was about the person. Now, this is about the business. Now, let's go into detail. When I wrote AEC, Abroad Education Consultancy, to which countries do they consult? For which countries do they consult? I am writing here European countries, USA, Australia, Canada, and countries like those. They give consultation to students who want to study in these countries. If you wrote a restaurant, write about maybe the menu, like they have this and this food. If it is a clothes store, maybe write this kinds of clothes are available, whatever the business is. Okay. Now, something else, they also have IELTS and PTE classes. So I know those things. Something else, if you know those things. If you know how many people work in that, you can write that as well. I'm writing five, five staff. And again, I want to remind you, whatever I'm writing here, these are just things to remind me about the actual thing. When I speak, I have to remember, like IELTS, what do I mean by this? I mean, in that institute, they teach this. You have to create a sentence by yourself, just to remind you what to say. And as much as you can write. The thing is, it is not possible to write everything in 1 minute. You have to say something by your own memory as well. But these much for now. Now, next question is why this person decided to start a business. Now, why? Now, the thing is, maybe you asked them, maybe they told you, or you can just imagine why would anybody start a business? Maybe they went abroad, earned a lot of money, came back and started a business. Maybe they came from a business background, the family had a business before, so they continued that. Maybe like people who maybe worked in a restaurant for many years, after gaining experience started their own restaurant, maybe something like that. So whatever the reason is, I'm writing several years experience of working in an AEC, a different one. Then in 2000 and last year, decided to start own. And then the factors were he wanted to take risk, maybe he wanted to make profit out of it, and he wanted to implement his own vision and things like these. Why ever people start a business? For profit, they want to take risk in life, they have their own unique vision, maybe. And since he is my friend, he told me that, like, after having a lot of experience, he thought he would put that into practice. And there is one last question, whether you would like to do a business like this or not. And my answer is no. You can write yes as kind of business, but I'm writing no. First of all, I don't have skills. I am not interested, and things like those. You can write yes, I want to do similar kind of business, and I no, I don't want to do this kind of business. So whatever I've written on the board, I doubt even this much is possible to write in the exam. We got only have 1 minute time. So you will write some words like this on the paper. And when you start speaking, these words should be enough to tell you what to say. Now again, other things that you can say by yourself as well. So once the examiner says start answering, then you start. Today I want to tell you about my friend Bimesh Paudal. He is 29 years old and lives in Biratnagar. He got married around 5 years ago, and I believe he has a graduate degree in English. In 2023, he started an abroad education consultancy business called Learner's Point in Mahendra Chowk of Biratnagar. It is situated on the ground floor of Hira Santa complex, and in that consultancy, students who want to study in countries, in European countries and other countries like USA, Australia, or Canada, can get consultation, as well as they also teach IELTS and PTE, which are language courses that students need before they apply abroad. In that institute, I believe there are 5 staff. Some of them are teachers, some are counselors, and peoples like those. When I asked him why he started the business, he told me that he had gained several years of experience by working in other consultancies before that. So, after a big amount of experience, he decided to try his luck and start his own business. And he wanted to take risk in life because he thought profit is only earned by taking risk, and he also had a vision that he wanted to implement in this field. I myself would not want to do a business like this because I am neither interested in business nor do I have management skills. If I start a business, I don't think I will be able to handle the pressure of running it. I work right now and I think I will continue working in the short term. Just that. That is what you will say. The thing is, if you noticed, I just use these words to say whatever I know about the person. I'm not making this up. This is a real person that I'm talking about. So it is easy to talk about them. Now, sometimes what happens is you might not come up with anyone. You can start making fake story. In that, it will be very difficult to just make a fake answer. Anyway, if you got what I was doing, I want you to try it. So you have written it, I guess. Okay, your turn.